Chapter 2, 5 days earlier. As he flicked the tip of his fishing rod forwards, John O'Hart heard the familiar sound of his cameraman cry out behind him. "For fuck's sake, Jono, watch what you're doing with that thing, will ya? You almost took a chunk out of my ear, you bastard." Jono ignored him. The cameraman had been a miserable bastard all week, and he waited for what came next with the certainty of a wife who knows that at some point her husband is going to ask if she's seen his keys. Prick. And there it was, the culmination of a 25-year relationship, a working partnership that had seen John O'Hart become an international TV celebrity while his cameraman, Dave Norman, had remained in the shadows, filming his adventures around the globe. "You want it to be perfect, don't you?" laughed Jono. "Stop your whining, Davey boy, and keep filming. This next one's going to be huge, I can feel it in my bones." Their Maori guide, Ch2, looked on with steely eyes, and he wrinkled his nose at the men who were fouling his river. "Hey, Kai," shouted Jono. "I gave your number to my friend Bob. He likes fishing on the, exotic side, shall we say. I said you'd help him find a good spot to dip his rod. Bob likes to dip his rod, doesn't he, Davey boy?" The cameraman ignored Jono's crass innuendo. After 25 years, he was used to the celebrity's macho banter, and now he didn't even bother to get irritated by it. Jono was just a dickhead, and one day he'd get what was coming to him, hopefully sooner rather than later. To be honest, Dave was surprised that Jono hadn't found himself in hot water years earlier. He was the most racist, homophobic, misogynistic bastard that the cameraman had ever met, and he seemed to make enemies wherever they travelled. But then again, that's probably why he got on so well with Bob. He was a dirty old pervert as well, and Dave knew exactly what Jono had meant when he'd mentioned Bob's exotic tastes. "Hey, Davey boy, did you see that hot little thing Bob's got working for him down at the hospital? The lucky bastard told me that she sometimes gets changed in their storage room. I said you might have a spy camera that he could borrow, you know, just in case she's stealing pins or something while she's in there." This time Dave's patience faltered, and he was about to say something when the Maori beat him to it.
"You know you really shouldn't talk about women that way, don't you?"
Kai's words had formed a question, and although Jono couldn't see it because of his blind ignorance, the cameraman sensed that it was more of an order to shut up or face the consequences. He was desperate to see Jono knocked out cold, but as he was also in the big man's firing line, he decided that a distraction was called for instead. "Did you see that, Jono? Look over there to your left. It's an eel. It's got to be at least 5 feet long." Jono spun around sharply like a dog who'd just heard the word walkies or cat. It didn't take much to get his attention. As the two men fumbled with their rods, reels and camera equipment, Ch2 looked up the slope, and a smile almost managed to crack the ice of his hard-set jaw. If only they knew how close they were. If only they knew what was hidden there. If they did, they'd have the show to end all shows, and they'd return to Christchurch as TV heroes. But these pricks were too stupid and too arrogant to see what was right in front of them, and Ch2 consoled his own self-loathing by knowing that he'd prevented the Pākehā from discovering his secret. "They'll be gone soon anyway," he told himself, and the money that he'd accepted for bringing them here would go a long way to clearing his debt, a mortgage on the land that was already his by birthright. He looked back again at the two men, still fumbling with their equipment, and he scowled.
"Fucking idiots."